for me, dubstep was just made for Bristol.
There's a lot of people on it already that are making wicked tunes, and there's a lot of Bristol producers which are on the verge of about to break free, and there's definitely a lot of dub plates floating around that are really good. I think there's a lot of people that are into drum and bass as well that are getting tired of that are slowly cottoning onto dubstep as something that's still sounding fresh.
Well, obviously the leading lights have been in the London scene, you know what I mean, but they're forging their own sound. Obviously Pinch with Dubloaded and Subloaded is pushing things forward. Then there's the Hench crew as well, got a few tunes from them, like Headhunter, Wedge, White Boy, Jakes as well. They're just all fucking bringing things forward.
And they're all making good stuff. I know they just seem to have appeared out of nowhere, but it's fantastic, you know. And that's where it's going. People like them bringing a dubstep sound that originates in Bristol rather than just playing out other, you know, the London stuff, you know.
Hench is like us, basically.
The moment of this.
Hard-earned, never caught hustling. Blah.
Sublow, dirty bass, grime, whatever, our own style really. Do BS1 radio, play out, produce. The list is endless, mate, what we do at the moment, to be honest with you.
Me, White Boy and Headhunter were making beats and battling each other and shit, and we were just like at home making tunes, and we heard dubstep and jumped on it. I was making, I tried to make hip hop back in the day, it came out like dubstep.
And I run a label with Technical Itch, and it's called Ascension Recordings, and the tune's coming out in about a month's time. Got quite a lot of buzz at the moment, and then the second tune's going to come in
the first day. That's what matters. But there's a big buzz about it. It's sold out first day. You're talking about one of the leaders of drum and bass. Tech Itch, doing dubstep. People can't touch that.
He's playing beats that I ain't heard, Chef ain't heard, none of us have heard, and they're always shocking out.
Because usually every tune I can tell you the name of it, where it was made.
So it is.
Do you know what I mean? So it's good, man. Like,
normally, like you hear a tune, and you know what it is, like, but up here you don't know what it is, and they're like, we ain't nothing up here, we're just fucking, like, next guys, that we just can't even the scenes, you know what I mean?
So like you've got Dubloaded and Subloaded and Roughnecks Discotheque as well. You've got to love that.
Roughneck Discotheque was a night which I started up, I don't know, about 7-8 months ago now, because it was my birthday and I wanted to put on a party, and I had an idea for a night and a concept, so I just thought, sod it, why not? Let's give it a go. And basically the Roughneck, we like the dirty side of things. Essentially what it comes down to, we like the filth. We like all the sub-bass, but we just like lots of glitchy, weird electronics over the top of it. And then we like a lot of bashment. Well, basically I like a lot of bashment and a lot of ragga, so obviously that plays a huge part as well. We've got Christian, who's very much into the dubstep. We've got Justin, who's really into the electronica, and Ollie as well. And you just sort of kind of put those factors into a melting pot, and you put rhythm and you put bass above all else, and then you get the Roughneck sound.
I'm Adam Jackson, also known as Kidders or Kid Cat. I co-run a night with Rich Remo called Noir. Noir was, I was like quite into, originally it was meant to be around like the drum and bass that I listened to, because there was only sort of like technicality in London that played that kind of sound. A lot of people think of like drum and bass, they think of like Pendulum and all that bollocks, to be honest with you. And it's not like that at all. It's like, it's a lot more musical. It's got the low end of like how we have in dubstep, and a lot of edited breaks as well. It's a lot more musical basically. King, a good mate of mine, he basically did a recording of a set back in like October 2004, and then on there was Toasty Splash, which just is a fucking amazing tune, and that is what started me getting me to listen to dubstep. And I just decided to incorporate both sounds because, you know, I wanted to support both scenes. So, and that's just sort of built from there, really. The reason why I like the dubstep, it sort of complements the other, the drum and bass, because there's a lot more space in the sound, and that's quite difficult to achieve with drum and bass. You know, each has their elements, and like, I know with drum and bass, it's sort of like the edited of the drums, and then just sort of bringing down in sort of pads and synths on top. And with dubstep, you've got sort of like it sounds, the sound is really large. It's like, it sounds like it's cavernous, and it's just nice seeing something so simple be so effective. It's just the space and the sound that I really like.
I also like the fact that you get loads of birds at dubstep raves, right? You go to a dubstep rave elsewhere, like apparently London or, and it's all like blokes just getting rowdy, but you come down here and it's just birds like shaking their asses. Brilliant. I think the other thing about the dubstep is a lot of younger music or a lot of younger crowds, it's so fucking drug fueled. People gurning their tits off all night, right? You go to a dubstep rave, it's all Guinness and ganja, it's an older crowd, and people are happy to rave till like, you know, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, but they're just on the biz. They take it slow, they take it steady.
Anybody drops an E, I don't know, take coke, anything like that in something like this, it's going to be a bit weird because the music isn't so fast.
And it's still, you're getting, you know, deep down and dirty, but it's much more civilised. I think it's, you know, it's much easier to rave all night at a dubstep rave than it is at a jungle or a techno or a breakcore night.
And I mean, all you really need is just that kind of red stripe, maybe a Guinness and a spliff, and just set for the whole night. That's all you need. You don't need no other drugs really, man. You know what I mean? Just feel the bass, like, it's all good.
You know, it's people who like the frequencies, you know, they just want to get mashed by a fucking loud sound, you know? Because it's not like a cattle market club where you've got people coming and getting wankered and falling over and making assholes of this. Mainly people who are soundheads, you know. We come for the music.
I am Elemental. I'm from North London. My style is I like to bring a bit of breaks into it, a bit of high frequency energy. People are calling that kind of sound breakstep. It's still kind of dubstep for me.
I'm coming to the whole dubstep and grime thing from a more electronica point of view, really, and sort of trying to mix the sounds up. I mean, dubstep's a lot about the space in there, you know, space for the sounds to reverberate and so on, and I guess I fill those gaps in a bit more with what I do. So it's kind of, it's a halfway, I guess, between electronica and grime and dubstep.
I like making music. Started making some dubstep. Well, I didn't even know it was dubstep actually. It was just music that I was making, and it happened to fit into the style of dubstep. My stuff's kind of dark, but it's quite melodic. You know, it's got a nice little vibe. I use Logic. Sometimes I use Reason. But yeah, it's Logic with a load of VST instruments.
Right, basically I'm using a program called Ableton Live, and I was using some MIDI controllers as quite an important part of it. It's just like the interface between me and the program. Well, what I do is like, I've been going through loads of old and recent tracks and breaking them down into various loops or like long sections that are just like either like one single sound or a mix of a few sounds. And then what I do is arrange it on a grid. So you've got like channels going across and what's called scenes going down. And each whole scene would be one section of a tune, like an intro or a drop. I can go and trigger a new scene, quickly switch into a whole section, but then I can mute parts. I can bring parts of other loops, place loops with different, you know, just mix it up like that. And I can apply effects live to each channel. So I can, you know, go to channel, put an echo on it, go to another channel, put a reverb on it. So I've got like loads of control over every part that's going on.
I'm using Ableton just as a way to try and give me a platform where I could edit the tracks a bit more live as I go along. I mean, sort of opposite to DJing where the tracks run, you know, I want to be able to re-edit the tracks as I go along, kind of reinvent them if you like, so restructuring and bringing in extra sounds, bringing in sort of new loops, you know, layering more drum beats on top. So what you get in the end is basically not what's on the record. You get more of a live show. You come and see an Akpai 2 gig and you don't quite know how it's going to sound, you know, anything could happen. Dubstep and grime to an extent is a lot more about dub plates and, you know, getting tracks cut onto vinyl and the performances in hearing these exclusives and all the rest of it. That's where the electronica aspect and the laptop comes in, you know. It's a slightly different package really from what the other dubstep guys are doing.
Well, the service I provide is called Dub Studio, and I make vinyl dub plates. It's a 7-inch one with a dinked hole. This is 10-inch dub plate, which is the traditional kind of size, both for kind of reggae, dub and dubstep. It's kind of a standard format because it can hold about 5 to 6 minutes of reasonably loud, bassy music. If you want any longer than that, you can fit about 7 to 8 minutes on a 12-inch dub plate. 7 inches cost 15 quid, 10 inches are 25, 12 inches are 35. Well, the way it works is you take your audio source. I mean, it could be from tape or from DAT or from CD. The signal comes from Pro Tools, and then it gets sent to the amplifier, and then from the amplifier it gets sent to the cutting head, and the cutting head essentially makes the stylus move, and the stylus, and as it cuts the groove, a sort of spiral groove leading towards the middle, it vibrates and sort of etches the sound into the record.
If you're going to start making music, don't start making something that's got a high BPM like drum and bass, because you need space. If you haven't got space in music, then the sounds that you create are just going to it just sound shit. You need to have space to make those. You just have to have 8 or 10 good quality sounds in one tune, and those quality sounds will overtake. Do you know what I mean? If you've got too many crunched up sounds in there, it's too clouded and it comes out muddy, and the listener doesn't really know what sounds to pick up and stuff. So.
This is a track called Sagrada I was working on with Ben Blackmore. I've got Nuendo hooked up through Yamaha 01V,